Welcome, welcome everyone. Welcome. Hi. Welcome,
everyone.
Jacqueline.
Welcome, Gigi. Nice to
Oh,
see you.
so lovely to be here today to talk together. And welcome everyone. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Gigi. I'm a World Embodiment Guide and Empowerment Mentor for Women. And Jacqueline.
Yeah, hi, my name is Jacqueline. I'm a therapist, a sound therapist, and a coach, a life purpose and Dharma coach. And yeah, and I'm very happy to be here with you all.
Yes. And we were just having a very interesting conversation before pressing record, and we were just about to actually go into how to heal trauma with intention. And Jacqueline, you were about to just speak to that. So if you would like to do that, I would love to hear, and then we can kind of continue from there.
Yeah. No, it was so interesting when you say this about the land, like the land takes the energies and it keeps the memories. And for me, as really as I said before, it's like it's comparable when you have the trauma and the trauma sits in the body. And in this both ways, if it's the land or if it's the trauma in the body, we have to heal it. And we do this with rituals, we do it with intentions. And it's really, we have to work on it because it really sits there. The energy has changed. The energy has changed in the trauma, and the energy at the place, for example, where something bad was happening or something cruel was happening. So if we go to this land and if we work on this, if we give rituals, if we give gratitude, if we give blessings, if we set intentions, then we can change it. We can change the energy because the energy itself is poor, but time to time the energy gets distracted. So we want to bring it back in this poorness. And the same we do in the body with the trauma. When I work with trauma, it's really to release the trauma from the body and to give another intention for the human being and also another vibration, because at the end it's all vibration.
Yeah, and it's kind of beautiful that both of us work with sound as well, because for me, I mean, that completely changed everything. It'll be interesting to hear from your side. But when I trained as a sound therapist, it was actually nearly the kind of awakening actually for me of understanding what trauma I was holding in my body, because I just moved from living in London for many years and just feeling so overwhelmed by, things that happened for me at that time of my life, but also living in the city and just feeling like, I wasn't really processing my emotions. I didn't really know how to do that. I felt very, stuck. And so I kind of followed my intuition to go and train as a sound therapist in Bali, and it was very guided. It was completely guided to do this. But sound has always been a part of my life, and I used to sing and perform, and so I knew that sound, and singing and music was so healing. But it wasn't until really I went and did this sound therapy training that I could feel in my cells things were moving. Trauma was being released. I was feeling like I was shedding, years of unfelt, unexpressed emotions like grief and anger and frustration. I just felt it. It was amazing what the sound did. And I feel like that is similar when we go and work on the land. Like you said, it's the same thing. Our bodies and the earth are one of the same thing. And when we work with moving the energy, whether that's through sound or, enchanting as well, which is very powerful, we're actually moving things out of the cellular, like DNA of the
We
place
absolutely
of the
move.
land
Yeah.
and of our bodies, and I find it so powerful, sound healing. I would love to hear what drew you to sound therapy.
Yeah, I think sound therapy is, I mean, first of all, it's one of the first, I think in every culture, there was always sound and music. And I think for me, it's more, I mean, I do sound. I learned in Rishikesh, I did the Nada Yoga Teacher, which is the yoga teacher of sound. And I'm
Mm.
also, I studied sound therapy before, longer ago. But in 2018, I went for the Nada Yoga Teacher training, and it was, yeah, it was amazing. But for me, a sound is something I expressed it as a little child already with dancing. And for me, it was music is always part of life. And
Mhm.
I think it's in every culture. And I think, I mean, also in the old cultures with the drum. And when you start dancing to the beat or just listening to beat, I mean, it vibrates all in your body. It vibrates every cell. And I mean, we are 70% water, and this goes in resonance. And it, for me, I compare it always when we speak about in school, we learn it, but people don't want to know it. We learn about the atoms and we learn about the neurons and all, and we learn that it's always moves.
Mhm.
We learn this as children in school that every atom is moving. And when we imagine that everything what is made our body, every material, everything is made at the end out of cells, but at the end out of atoms and of smaller particles. And these particles are always moving. So the whole thing, what we see as fix, is not really fixed. It's
Yeah.
something what the whole time in movement. And when we have sound, and this is already moving, then the whole thing goes in vibration. For us, it looks like fix. We see the body, and it's quite dense. So but the end, it's we are always changing. Like it's the cells going away. We lose some skin cells or something.
Mhm.
It's always changing. All is in move. The water is in move. All is in move. All is music.
Yeah.
The whole universe is music. It's vibration.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that. It's so true, isn't it? That everything is musical. Everything
Yes.
has a sound as well. If you really listen to it, everything has a sound, doesn't it?
Everything. Yes.
Even if it's the tiniest and you can't hear it, but it's still there. Everything has a sound, and yeah, I love also that movement piece, because for me, dancing, I feel like we're similar in that way. Since I was a child, I was always dancing, always moving, always singing, always, yeah, moving energy. I felt like this is expression. That's what expression is just us moving energy and creating and making making things, just with our bodies, and that feeling of joy as well, which is something that I really I really feel very passionate about, is us women coming back to joy and coming back to that place that fills us with that life force, and we feel it, that we can shift and move and dance and play actually within our lives, rather than feeling, like you said, that feeling fixed and dense and like I've made this decision, therefore that's who I am, or that's how I should be. But actually we can change and we can choose to go, like you said, in kind of with the water. We can choose to go a different direction if we want to.
I mean, what I really realized is, I mean, I experienced when I here the last years now, I'm divorced, but I experienced narcissistic abuse.
Yeah.
And I was for around 2 years in trauma. I was severe PTSD, and I'm a therapist, so I know all what I can do, and I tried all different ways to work with music, with everything. And what I really realized is trauma is something where you are stuck. It's like your energy, and I felt that your energy is not really flowing. And I mean, trauma is an extreme form of it, but at the end, when you look at our culture, I mean, like the dancing and all, and moving and doing things and being creative, this is something, it's from human nature. But then we got to the patriarchal world, or to the world of the, I don't know, where they want to put us through the school system in trying to fit us in a box. And they take all this away, what is really joyful. And I mean, the most important thing for me, what a child should learn, is first of all, how to breathe correctly, to be creative, to make joyful things, to dance, to play music, to do things, and we perhaps to meditate, to do yoga or any other kind of movement. But these are the most important things. And then perhaps learn about philosophy, about wisdom, to get wiser, to grow. But this is all what we don't learn.
Yeah.
And this is something what I think is also very feminine. I think a woman from nature does it naturally, while the men try more to put things in order. They are more like, I don't know, controlled, bringing things in order to. And I think it's time that we come in this feminine flow again. Bring society in flow, bring women back to their nature, and be proud of it. Don't be ashamed that you have feelings or anything, or that.
Yeah, that's a big part, isn't it? The shame that we carry for kind of generations of our ancestors, of women who couldn't really feel, you know, they had to stay at home. There are these kind of extreme, you know, if we think about where we are now, it's so much freer and more liberated than, you know, my grandmother and her grandmother, and what their role was and how they should show up, especially in in the UK. Speaking about where I'm from, it's very, you know, you stay at home and you look after the children, and you cook and you clean, and we are doing it. It's happening, isn't it? We are bringing the feminine is coming alive. She is awakening, and through us reclaiming our nature, like you said, our innate nature and wisdom, and understanding of how to work with cycles and seasons, and really learning that through nature. That's how I've learned anything, is actually through nature, is listening, being out in nature, really reconnecting on a cellular level. Like when you stop and you actually lie down on the earth, or you sit with a tree, that's, you know, an activation of your own inner wisdom. So I have found that nature has taught me so much about my nature, just from being in it, and really, you know, like you said, the breath, like breathing it in, being really present, and allowing the wisdom to kind of come online. Like I feel like we're retuning ourselves, because our culture it's been about deadening everything. Like it's been about really desensitizing our feminine bodies. And so it's like coming back online, turning on that switch, and then, you know, things start to change, don't they? Like, you know, your health changes, and your vitality, and your ability to really feel as well. Your senses come alive again, your sensuality, feel your body and your connection. It's such a powerful journey, isn't it, to really kind of reconnect with your body.
it's a total powerful journey. And for me, I was really thinking, because I think we had before, I mean, we had in, I mean, also, I think even the Celtic culture, it was the, it was more matriarchal. It was not like the feminine was not suppressed. And even if you go in, when you go in the Indian culture, there were a lot of matriarchal cultures. And for me, the masculine really took over extremely for me in the medieval age, where really all was good. So the women who worked, had the plant medicine, all were called witches and all. They were burned when they said something. So they were healers. And they didn't serve. I mean, it was an agenda. It didn't serve the people who wanted to be doctors and all. So they wanted to have the studies. They didn't want to have these women. So we started to suppress women. And then it started again more with the industrialization. And now they tried it more like with the whole thing with the medias, like you numb the people, you fill them with so much information that they are numb. And the only thing what we can do is work against it. And as you said, go in nature and just listen, be in the moment, just be. We are beings, not doings. We have to be and to reconnect. And I think really the female wisdom is coming more and more and more, women coming up and showing it. And I think it's really time, because when it doesn't happen, I think our whole planet gets destroyed. Because the masculine, what I see is a lot. I don't say, I speak from energies. I don't speak from men and women, but I speak mainly from energies. When you have the masculine energy, is like the Shiva energy, is the destruction. And when you see now, you see the exploitation of, be it Mother Earth, or be it people, humans, or being cutting down rainforests, or whatever it is, or like the whole porn industry, or all the things. It's like exploitation. We exploit the soil, we exploit the water, we exploit humans, we exploit animals, we exploit everything. And there is a huge greed, and the only thing where we can work together is really going into feminine, because the feminine is the wisdom keeper. The feminine has this, we are like the channel, I mean, the woman is the only being which can give, be it in an animal or in a human being, which can give birth. Like she channels between heaven and earth. And we are these channels, and I think we are really also the carers. And if we start to reconnect, and I think there is a big thing going on, and that was also when I connected with you. For me, it's really, I want to connect with women who have similar ideas, to really to bring this vibration higher. That we get a higher vibration on the whole planet, and that we just comes the Shakti, the feminine energy back.
And also because we are so used to, also as women, working alone. It's like everyone is used to that, even though the feminine is like, you know, everyone together, kind of community energy. But we as women are so indoctrinated to work on our own as well. And I see that also in business, and people who are bringing this information through and wanting to help other women, is that we are still doing it alone on very deep levels. Like I feel we're working on that as well, because that doesn't happen overnight. That's a big transition for us to open and trust each other, trust that we're all, you know, have this intention that is the good of all. But I feel like that is also what I was feeling, and probably what we're both feeling, is that connection with each other is so important. If it's a conversation, if it's a, you know, exchange of something, and actually we are moving the energy more by doing that. Like you said, we're coming together to amplify that. And there is, I'm definitely feeling that desire for more, you know, connection, but in a way that is not, that doesn't need an outcome necessarily, because I feel like that's what we're always driven to look for, aren't we? We're always driven to look for, what is the outcome? What is the benefit? What do I get from this? And that's a program that, you know, most of society is run by, because we're looking for results. Whereas I feel like us, you know, coming together as women in our hearts and just really kind of, we're doing each other, you know, individually we're doing stuff, but we can really help, you know, each other by just being open and having these conversations and trusting, and like you said, raising the energy, raising the vibration.
Yeah, and as you said, you mentioned trusting, and I think this is also something which we got. I mean, the last years, it was so much. We are like conditioned that you have to be jealous, or that women are bitchy with each other, that there is it was at work or everywhere, it was more like pulling down when somebody was going up. And I think we really have to work, and I think the patriarchal thing has totally used this, because with this, like, the women were pulling each other down instead of lifting each other up, and it was to the profit for the masculinity, because a man, if it's in business, the women will not allow another women to go up. They will hold her back, and the man profited. And or when you have the jealousy, when you have it with relationships, so when the bitchiness started, when one woman had a man, and then the other started, I want this man just to show that I can have him, not really because I want him. And I think we really have to turn this and come away and say, no, we are sister, we support each other, we don't allow this to happen. We lift each other up, be it at work, like we help when somebody is going up, we support this because we can lift each other up and we will all elevate. Or when it's a relationship, we say we protect each other, because there is no power from the outside when women stand together. When we really stand in our sisterhood, I think, as you said before, the energy will emerge.
I do feel like it requires a lot of self-development, though. I've realized that, you know, you have to work on yourself to feel comfortable in a sisterhood, because but also at the same time it can be very helpful, because it actually reflects things that are still are wounded within yourself around your beliefs around other women, and also they reflect back to you your beliefs about yourself. So I found over all of these years of working in women's circle and online programs, and just, you know, my friends, my women friends in my life, is that staying very aware of self is really, really important, and kind of working through what are the things that I'm finding triggering about being with other women. What is this showing me as a reflection of something that I can really liberate in myself? Because a lot of the things that we feel are conditions, like you said, it's like I need to fight for my piece of pie. Like I need to get it, rather than, oh, I can embody who I am, and that is going to be, you know, perfect for me. That's going to look different. My embodiment of my essence and who I am is going to be different to yours, and we can celebrate that, and there's room for everyone. And if we're really working on our intentions and our desires, that is what we will attract, rather than looking at someone else and saying, I want what they have, therefore I'm gonna get it from them.
Exactly.
It's not about getting it from them. Everything is here. Everything that you desire is here. And that is a big part of connecting with that wisdom of the feminine, is that your wisdom, that your body, that your heart, and all these wisdom centers of your body, your chakras, are all going to help you feel that and understand what that is, understand what it is that you want, and what you desire, and how to, yeah, really cultivate that and say yes to it from within rather than going outside.
I mean, the whole thing is, I think the conditioning is like you start as a girl, you always you learn you have to be helpful, you have to caring for everybody except for yourself. You have to be beautiful, you have to be this. And it's always becoming, it gives always this feeling you are not enough. You
Yeah,
have first to become, to be somebody,
yeah, yeah,
whatever
yeah.
it is, every stage. And for me, it was also like you said, I mean, I did a lot of shadow work and really looking in these places, where does it come from? And then really realizing this is not me. This is really
Yeah,
just conditioning,
yeah,
which other people profit for.
yeah,
They limit you, and just to say, I mean, nobody is perfect, and
yeah,
just to say, hey, I'm okay how I am, who I am. This is absolutely fine. When I grow, it's fine. When I fall a moment, it's fine. It's just be. But women get so much conditioned, and I mean, look at beauty ideals. Every woman thinks, oh, I'm not perfect, I have this. Have you ever seen, I mean, okay, now we have some men, but before, have you ever seen a man who says, oh, I'm not perfect, I should do this? They are just there. But we women, we are conditioned. You have to get somewhere, you have to be somewhere. You you have to develop in something, and instead of just, hey, you are beautiful like you are absolutely awesome.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's such a different experience, isn't it? That's something that I know I've done a lot of work with myself and with my clients, is this like, I'm great, even that like idea of celebrating yourself as you are, and just to be like, wow, my body is amazing, my body like takes me through life, I get to experience life in my body, and just flipping that narrative, like, yeah, where am I putting my intention, like bringing it back
Yeah.
to intention, where am I putting my focus on the things that I don't like about myself, then I'm just going to feel more of the same thing. But when we flip that and we start looking at the things that we like about ourselves, and we're building that sense of like, celebration, and also fulfillment, that we're
Yeah,
fulfilling ourselves from being who we are. And it's so different, because yeah, otherwise we'll chase the carrot, is
yeah, it's
what it
just
is, isn't it? Like, what about this thing that will make me look better, or this thing that will make me look this, or it's just loads of carrots being dangled in front of us.
and I mean, when you can let go of this condition, it's so just releasing. It's so just, it's like, I really recommend everybody who is listening, just
Yeah,
enjoy yourself. You are perfect
I
how
know.
you are. You are, there is nothing to change on you,
Yeah, and
nothing to
coming back
prove,
to joy.
nothing.
Exactly, and coming back to joy really helps that, doesn't it? That's what I found, like coming back to the sense of joy that you find within yourself. What brings you joy?
Yes.
And that unlocks more of that flow of energy that is going to, really nurture and nourish every area of your life. If you really start to honor yourself, take the
Mm.
focus out of what's being dangled in front of you, and come into your heart and to the treasures. It's like a treasure hunt, isn't it, when you actually take this journey of self reclamation and liberation. It's like you find all these treasures about yourself that you just didn't know were there, or maybe you knew they were there but you forgot about them, or you lost sight of them, just you're uncovering all of this kind of bounty and beauty and riches. It's literally like going into the temple, isn't it? And finding the riches. Your body is your temple, and the riches are, you know, the wisdom and the parts of you that are ready and waiting for you.
Yeah, and I mean we are so teach to seek outside everything. I mean, we are trying to, but at the end the journey is towards inside, and it's really to the gift lays inside, the gift lays in the heart, the gift lays in our life purpose, in what is special on ourselves, what nobody else has, which really makes us. And it's really discovering these gifts, which we perhaps, as you say, know as a child, perhaps we had access to it, but when we lost it through all the conditioning, and really coming back and just discover it and be and enjoy it.
Yeah. And actually it brings me to, I don't know if you've seen this film or know about the book, but it's called The Secret Garden.
Is it a children book, or is it
Yeah.
another book? Yeah,
It's a
I love it.
children's book. You know that one. And I watched it last night because it was my favorite book as a child, and I listened to it on tape every night, like almost every night. And I watched this film last night, and I've only seen it one other time as a film. And I was just watching this film, just being like, wow, this is exactly what we're talking about. You know, this like the coming back to the garden, the secret garden that is lost, and she has to go and find the garden. It's like covered in ivy. No, everyone shut it off and said you can't go in there. But she's like, no, I'm gonna go in there because I'm gonna follow my wisdom, my intuition. And then she goes in and then she plants the seeds and then she makes it all beautiful and she becomes happier in herself. And then all of the family around her grow as well, and they're healthy and love blossoms. And I was just like, that's it. That film basically shows you, you know, the before, when you're feeling shut down and you're feeling unloved and you're feeling unmet in whatever areas of your life. And then you go find this, you know, you go on the quest to find this secret garden. And then you start to really work with the soil, the land of your body, and you start growing these beautiful things. And I mean, also gardening helps to do that. If you actually externally you plant things, that gives back to you too, doesn't it?
I mean, when you be in touch with Mother Gaia, or just when you plant something and you see it grow, or the same also when you are creative, when you paint something, or you do any creative art, is as soon as you see something, a creation like, or a growth, it's uplifting. It changes also you. It's always a part of you when you do it. And the other, what you said before, is what really reminds me is when you explained it so beautifully, like when you start to explore your insight, your gift, and when you start exploring, and then it goes over. And I think it's the same with womanhood, is when you start becoming this goddess power in your own wisdom and your own power, and you start accepting yourself and start to find your life purpose, your gifts, then this is also shining outside. So it's like a virus, but a positive one, which goes outside, which just goes out over to the next. And I think it's like, it's light, it's vibration, and it helps others to rise. And if everybody from us starts really working and yeah, just finding themselves again, get rid of all this conditioning, of all these limiting belief systems which got taught us over many years, and just discover who are you, what is your, who is really you, what do you really love, what is really, what makes you happy, what lifts your spirit up, and connect with this. And I think it helps everyone around you.
Yeah, for sure. It's very inspiring.
It is.
Very inspiring. Oh, well, gosh, I feel I'm like, we're in the garden, we're playing. Thank you so much. I feel like that's a good place to finish for now. But yeah, I love this conversation so much. And there's always so much more to say, isn't there? It's like we could keep going. But thank you so much. And thank you everyone who watches this. And if you have any questions, you can reach out to either of us. And also I'll have some links of how to contact us below this video. And yeah, we'll probably continue some conversations, I feel.
Thank you so much to make this possible, and thank you everybody who is listening to us. And yeah, just be you, and just enjoy yourself, be less critical, and yeah, just rise the vibration with all of us. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Jacqueline.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye.